Just heard Jacques Thibault, great Belgian, Franco-Belgian fiddle player from days of yore. He was playing with the Swiss Romande Orchestra with Ernest Ansermet, a recording made in 1941. Thibault was getting on a bit there, but he still had his panache and his energy. Remarkable playing, and it's off an acetate, which I had access to a while ago, and we've recovered for the sake of heralding another program. This is vk3sl testing.
Good afternoon.
Ian, hello to you there, Mr. OP. How are you?
Very well, Mr. SL.
Excellent.
That was a very lively piece.
Yeah, it certainly is. It's the, I didn't even announce it, it's the Lalo Symphonie Espagnole. And Lalo was a French composer who lived in the later part of the 19th century, late 19th century actually. And it's one of the big showpieces of that time. But
plenty of fireworks.
Yeah, certainly is, and very Spanish, and lots of pizzazz.
That's great.
I always enjoy hearing the Lalo Symphonie Espagnole. In fact, for my graduation, I played the Lalo Cello Concerto years ago.
I don't know that.
It's a great work. In fact, I should feature it. It's a piece quite close to my heart because I had to learn it, and I played it.
A few hours in there then.
Oh, it was a big project. It took a long time.
Is it as virtuosic as that?
Not quite. It has its moments though. I remember spending 8 hours on one bar of music in that thing. I studied it when I was in the UK, and I came back and played it with the Conservatorium Orchestra, and Kate was in the orchestra. So.
That's what were you married at that stage?
No, it was well before we were married. Yeah, so she was playing in the orchestra.
But you knew her?
Oh yes, we knew each other well. Yeah, and she came up and gave me a kiss on the stage.
Oh, well worth it. What more could you want?
Oh, in front of all those people.
Fantastic.
It was quite
Love
an experience, and we did that, and then we did the orchestra played the Prokofiev First Piano Concerto with a friend of mine after that. So it was a big concert, big graduation. Yes, the graduation
terrific, Steve.
But,
a recording or anything, of course.
Oh, I do, but I would never play it.
Oh, come on.
Anyhow, there we go.
Just perhaps a little bit one night.
Oh, we'll see. It's on videotape, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, anyhow.
Let's put it onto a CD.
Oh, yeah.
It's best you do stick it onto some sort of digital format because the videotape's not going to last forever.
Yeah,
exactly right.
To be honest, I don't really care. But look, let's change.
But your kids might want to listen to it one day.
No, I don't think so.
They will. They're nearly all musos.
I've opened up a can of worms now. I shouldn't have. Let's cut to the chase. Let's hear something from the 20s. I've got on the table a recording of Waring's Pennsylvanians. I'm not sure if this features Billy Costello, the original Popeye, or not, but it's a classic from that band, and it says everything about the era. It is quintessentially 1920s. vk3sl.
VK3.
where the jazz band pound. It's the stamping ground of the dancing hound. That's the place I learned to do the wobbly walk. Every evening late, how they congregate and they demonstrate rhythms up to date. When the red-hot leader makes the saxophone talk, everybody learns to do the wobbly walk.
Just get your ankles out on the loose, then let your tootsie shake like the deuce. Oh, that's a wobbly walk. Wiggle your shoulders, wiggle your knees, scatter your fingers out with the breeze. Oh, that's a wobbly walk. Like the wavy ocean, get that motion to and fro. Slide down your left, slide down your right, there you go. That's got 'em, shoulders and fingers, ankles and feet. Just make it harder as you repeat. Oh, that's a wobbly walk.
Pennsylvania, and there was Popeye in that recording. You could hear him in the vocal ensemble, and wobbly walk. Yeah, very 20s. It's got all the signature sounds of the era, that record, about 1927, I think. So there we go.
How was your first day back?
Oh, first day back. Yeah, look, it was actually okay because it was a light day in the end. I had a few cancellations, so that actually gave me a bit of headspace.
Good.
And which is not a bad thing because I was not excited about going back to work today. There's thousands of emails. Oh, all of this stuff, all this standards, and no, I won't go there. I'm underscoring this.
You know
one.
your biggest friend in that, don't you? Click, shift, click, delete.
Tell me about it. I spent half the day just doing that. So anyhow, yes, we have to redress that situation. Yeah, but did you fellas get this big storm today? That huge rain event?
A couple of bands through here, earlier today, sort of probably late morning.
Okay.
Got one through, and then only an hour ago, perhaps, another one came through here.
Right, because we had a really
We
significant...
even had a bit of hail.
Yeah, we had massive hailstorm, one of the biggest I've seen for a long time.
We got some hail for about a minute this morning, and this afternoon we got a bit of rain and one clap of thunder.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we got enormous clap of thunder, and then one of the most dramatic hailstorms I've seen for a very long time.
Wow.
It was just incredible. We must have been right under the cell. So, a bit of high drama. We all stood in the sunroom and just watched the event unfold. It was quite spectacular. But I thought the hail was going to break the window because it was really big. Some of it was almost the size of marbles, and it was coming down with rigor. Is that the right word? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, it was quite an event. But, I think it was just one of those days with micro storm cells passing through the burbs. Yeah. And some nice spots of sun, so I was able to dash out and I always like going for a walk after it's been raining.
It's beautiful, isn't it? Everything's so fresh.
It certainly is. It's really the best time, I think. So,
There's a lot of puddles to watch out for.
Yes, you have to negotiate those.
In parks, it often turns to mud.
It does, and our local park is no exception because it's
well
in the
worth
valley.
It,
oh, look, it's all worth it. It's important to get
we
out.
used to have a dog who used to go and roll in it.
And then come back inside and sit on the sofa.
That's right. She did. It's a terrific dog.
Cindy was walking our dog when the big clap of thunder came, and she said the dog went absolutely berserk.
It hurts their ears.
Yeah, I think it does, and she went crazy.
They're very highly sensitive, and I can imagine. I think they're sort of several times more sensitive, so it would sound several times louder, I guess.
I expect so, yeah, full on. Anyhow, I was wondering about the tennis too, because when that storm cell came through, the wind was really strong. It was wasn't just gusty, it was quite unrelenting for just a short while, for just 10 minutes. But
it was some sort of minor, not tornado exactly, but it was it was a storm, all right.
Yeah, it sort of had its hurricane elements or something, yeah. But anyhow, it all seems to have calmed down now, although I think this week's not exactly going to be a an outdoor week of the kind we've had in the last few days.
That's right. They're seeing rain every day.
Yeah.
At one point or another.
I think so. Anyhow, all the reason to bunker down and listen to 78s, hey?
Oh, yes.
I've been sort of mucking or trying to sort things here, really, and I'm picking a few out of the pile. And there's a recording here of the Mills Brothers and Louis Armstrong. And it's a track which I think it's a jazz standard. You hear it around, and I'm not sure exactly what they do with it, but we'll tune in and have a listen. It's Flatfoot Flugie.
It certainly is, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Flatfoot Flugie with the flowy.
That's right. Yes, I've heard the other part of it. Well, let's hear what the Mills Brothers and Mr. A do with this piece.
Flatfoot Flugie.
With the fly.
Yes, fly.
With the fly.
Oh, well, a 1 for 2.
A flatfoot flugie with the fly. A flatfoot flugie with the fly. A flatfoot flugie with the fly. Fly. A flatfoot flugie with the fly. A flatfoot flugie with the fly. A flatfoot flugie with the fly. If you're feeling low down and don't know what to do, and you want a showdown, here's the only dance for you. The flatfoot flugie with the fly. The flatfoot flugie with the fly. The flatfoot flugie with the fly. Fly.
Bang, 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 bang.
Got it?
Bang, 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 bang.
Got it?
Bang, 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 bang.
Got it?
Ba-doo, down, down. Flatfoot Flugie.
Got it?
Lose that floozy.
Got it?
Bigfoot Flugie.
Got it?
Ba-doo, down, down.
Bum 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 da bum 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 da bum 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 da 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 da.
Oh, the Flatfoot Flugie with Floyd. Flatfoot Flugie with Floyd George. Flatfoot Flugie with Floyd. Florida. A Flatfoot Flugie with Floyd. Flatfoot Flugie with Floyd George. A Flatfoot Flugie with Floyd. Florida.
If you're feeling low down, go to the battle bar, and you want a showdown.
Oh, the Flatfoot Flugie with Floyd. Flatfoot Flugie with Floyd George. Flatfoot Flugie with George. Florida.
Flugie,
Flatfoot. Slewfoot. Sugarfoot. Cushfoot. Wingfoot. Bigfoot. And Satchelfoot.
Yes, he had to get a Guernsey, didn't he? Mr. Satchmo and Mills Brothers on a Decca 78.
In that vein of novelty, jazzy sort of recordings, I heard a new Bosley Sisters today.
Oh, really? Tell
For
me.
me,
Which one was that?
it was called Minnie the Moocher's Wedding Day.
Oh, that's a great record. I love it. This is one of my faves.
Oh, it was terrific.
Yeah, it's really good. Now, we're going to dial it because I want to hear it again.
Yes, please.
You've spawned something there. Boswell Sisters and Minnie the Moocher's Wedding Day. Now, they there's so many sort of Minnie the Moocher themes, isn't there? Cab Calloway sort of told the story in many different ways. But this is great. This is from 1932, so it's all sort of at the inception, when at that time when the Cotton Club was all a go and the theme was well and truly alive. So we'll hear Hear them. Hear the Boswell sisters. We're queuing as I speak. Here we have Minnie the Moocher's Wedding Day, vk3sl. Testing.
Whenever folks in Chinatown start acting gay, there's something in the air that makes them feel that way. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
I heard somebody say it's Minnie the Moocher's wedding day. Smokey Joe so happy he can hardly wait. Spent $1 million for a wedding cake. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
I heard somebody say Minnie the Moocher's wedding day. You better come on down. You better come on down. Down to Chinatown. Down to Chinatown. Let me take you down. Let me take you down. To see 'em kick the gong around. Million cokies singing hidey, hidey, hey. The King of Spain is gonna give the bride away. Yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, man.
I heard somebody say it's Minnie the Moocher's wedding day. The king and queen of every nation were glad to get an invitation. The Prince of Wales said he would get away for Minnie the Moocher's wedding day. Minnie the Moocher's wedding day. Oh, Willie the Weeper, you will see there. He promised Smokey he would be there to see that everything turned out okay for Minnie the Moocher's wedding day. Minnie the Moocher's wedding day. Oh, better come on down, down to Chinatown, let me take you down, just to see the cokie kick the gong around, cokie singing howdy, 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 hey. King of Spain is gonna give the bride right away. Oh, yeah, man, Minnie the Moocher's wedding day, Minnie the Moocher's wedding day.
There we go. It was
for right on form.
They certainly were absolutely spot on. And I realised that the Cab Calloway, his version was released the year prior, so that spawned a whole range of Minnie the Moocher songs. And I was just reading about it, and it comes from a version of Willie the Weeper, which was a 1900s vaudeville song, but it's full of drug references, of course, and Smokey Joe and singing about the cokies. It's all about, it's all about cocaine, really. So, yes, it all went completely under the radar, and the censors had no idea what they were singing about.
It took a very long time in the States to make cocaine illegal.
Yeah, it's interesting. Yeah, well, it may well have been still legal then. I don't know if it was.
No, but certainly Coca-Cola, it was legal when they were putting it into Coca-Cola for a long time.
Right.
I was about to say that's how Coca-Cola got its name, because one of the constituents was cocaine.
Wow.
Exactly.
Okay, so it would have been, would have been illegal when Prohibition was in force?
I don't think it was.
Okay.
No, I think that's right.
Well, perhaps everything was completely
alcohol was
legit.
illegal, but cocaine wasn't.
Extraordinary, isn't it?
Incredible.
Yeah. Well, there we go. Maybe it wasn't such a taboo thing after all. They're singing about something that was well and truly in the popular imagination.
Not sure. Well, it was certainly subversive.
Yeah.
Even if it was illegal, it was subversive.
Yeah, that's true. I can appreciate that. Yeah, and sort of referencing the opium dens and the Chinese, mafia and all of that.
I'm sure that was illegal.
So that's look, it's an interesting song, and there's a sort of a sub-story behind the whole thing. But
there's a good little sort of TV series that shows a little bit of that too. It's called, I think they did 2 seasons. It's called The Nick.
Oh, okay.
and it's set in New York,
Yeah.
around a hospital that actually existed called the Knickerbocker,
Oh, the
and
Nick.
where there was some surgeons there that pioneered things like C-sections and all sorts of stuff.
Right.
And one of the doctors is addicted,
Mm.
and it shows the whole going off to his Chinese dealer to get things and everything that goes
really?
on. And it's really well shot, period piece. It's worth a look. Called
it's
The
good.
Nick.
I've written it down. Okay, very good. So it's a sort of multi-part series thing. Is it?
Yeah, I mean, maybe 10 or 13 eps per season. I think they might
Okay.
have done 2 seasons. And
Sure.
it you know, I mean, it's in your face at times, obviously, with some of the surgical stuff.
Yeah.
But it's just an interesting sort of snapshot of a time.
Yeah.
Sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds intriguing. Sort of looking at the way that, I suppose, I don't know, was marijuana illegal at that time? I don't know.
I don't know.
I just don't know what the state was, or opium.
Opium was illegal, I'm pretty sure.
Right. Yes.
Because they realised when it destroyed China, when the British gave it to the Chinese,
Yeah.
I think the Western world sort of woke up then, but it was
Okay.
dangerous.
Sure. Yeah, that's fascinating. Well, good. That's an interesting topic, and we might find a few Minnie the Moocher style songs. I know there's a couple from Cab Calloway. He did his famous one, but he also did one which we played a few times in the film The Big Broadcast of 1932, and he features another Minnie the Moocher story, and there are many others around as well. Yeah, all right. Well, we've got a recording of Red Foley queued up.
Very good.
Yeah. Can you illuminate the picture with
No,
Mr.
not really. I know the name.
Okay.
What's the song?
Yeah, it's called Mook Bucket Boogie. So, yeah, I think it's sort of...
Country, I think.
it might be, yeah. So I really have no dear eye. I haven't even sampled this. It just looked like an upbeat title.
No, I think it's country.
Okay, all right. We'll give it a go and see what happens. But you never can know with these things. vk3sl.
Now every morning about 5 o'clock, the old alarm clock says, wake up, Doc. I jump out of bed and I hit the floor. I gotta get busy and do the morning chore. It's the milk bucket boogie. It's a wonderful sound. Oh, the milk bucket boogie when the milk comes streaming down. I grab the milk bucket and I swing it on my arm. I'm in a big hurry to get to the barn. Greet old Jersey with a good, good morn. Fatten her up on the best of corn. It's the milk bucket boogie. It's a wonderful sound. Whoa, the milk bucket boogie when the milk comes streaming down. Well, I feed old Jers on the best of eats. She's the best darn cow that I ever see. She eats mighty hearty and it must be good, 'cause she gives enough milk for the whole neighborhood. It's the milk bucket boogie. It's a wonderful sound. Whoa, the milk bucket boogie when the milk comes streaming down. Old Jerry seems happy, she never complains. Winter, summer, she never does change. Stays so fat and she never goes dry. She won the blue ribbon at the county fair. It's the milk bucket boogie. It's a wonderful sound. Whoa, the milk bucket boogie when the milk comes streaming down.
Red Foley, Mook Bucket Boogie.
Yeah, that's good.
That's not
Reminded me very much of another boogie, I suppose all boogies sound the same to a degree, called Shotgun Boogie.
Oh, who performed that?
That was Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Oh, it's an Ernie Ford. Oh.
He's back.
Okay, Ernie Ford Shotgun Boogie there.
It's worth a play, I think.
Oh, I think so. I think we can cue that one up and have a listen to Tennessee Ernie Ford.
Very good lyric.
I've seen his records around. In fact, I think there's probably some in this batch. It's a name known to me, but I do not know what he sounds like. So this is the place to discover these things. Here we go. Tennessee Ernie Ford Shotgun Boogie, vk3sl.
There it stands in the corner with the barrel so straight. I look out the window and over the gate. The big fat rabbits are jumping in the grass. Wait till they hear my old shotgun blast. Shotgun boogie, I done saw your track. Look out, Mr. Rabbit, when I cock my hammer back. Well, over on the ridge is a scaly bark. Hickory nuts are big, you can see 'em in the dark. The big fat squirrels, they scratch and they fight. I'll be on that ridge before daylight with the shotgun boogie. All I need is one shot. Look out, bushy tail, tonight you'll be in the pot. I met a pretty gal, she was tall and thin. I asked her what she had, she said a Fox 410. I looked her up and down, said, boy, this is love. So we headed for the brush to shoot a big fat dove. Shotgun boogie, boy, the feathers flew. Look out, Mr. Dove, when she draws a bead on you. I sat down on a log, took her on my lap. She said, wait a minute, bud, you got to see my pap. He's got a 16 gauge choked down like a rifle. He don't like a man that's a-gonna trifle. Shotgun boogie, draws a bead so fine. Look out, big boy, he's loaded all the time. Well, I called on her pap like the gentleman ordered. He said, no brush hunter's gonna get my daughter. He cocked back the hammer right on the spot. When the gun went off, I outrun the shot. Shotgun boogie, I wanted wedding bells. I'll be back, little gal, when your pappy runs out of shells.
You can really hear the antecedents of rock and roll, can't you?
Yeah, you sure can. It's very much in boogie.
Yeah, it's the
rhythms in boogie.
Yeah, it certainly is. And it's, of course, a variation on the traditional blues, really. That's where it all emanates from.
Oh, yeah, it's the heart of all of it, really.
It is.
That's saying, you listen to early Bill Haley, it's really very, very close to that, isn't it? It's not far removed.
Exactly, it's only one degree.
Just more backbeat on the drum, and then sort of more distorted guitar, and a few other little bits and bolts. But basically, it sounds like boogie. In fact, he recorded a lot of boogies.
Oh, did he? Tennessee Ernie Ford did.
Sorry, Bill Haley.
Oh, Bill Haley did, right.
They always say a lot of songs with boogie in the title.
Yes, there are.
And the origins, and as you say, just the distorted guitar, and then obviously the lack of, because even in a lot of these, you're still hearing a little bit of sort of slide or lap steel playing, whereas, once you get into the rock and roll with him, there's none of that.
Interesting.
No, I thought that lap steel sounded quite effective.
Yeah. I think so. I think it adds a lot to it, and it's evidently, it sort of, again, gives the country flavour, which, and perhaps even a bit of Hawaiian flavour that was a part of the picture.
That's it.
Yeah, most interesting. Well, I just happened to do another lucky dip, and out of the box came another boogie. It must have been the thing in the early 50s. Boogies must have been just the ants' pants, but this one's a bit different. This one's Winifred Atwell at her other piano, and this one here is called the Piano Tuners Boogie.
Oh, good.
Let's have a listen.
Her piano needed a tune, didn't it?
It certainly did. Winifred Atwell and her other piano tunes boogie. So yes,
Wonderful.
yeah, she's got it.
Afternoon.
Good afternoon, and yeah, it's very different to her recording of the Grieg Piano Concerto, isn't it?
Even had a straight piano on that one.
It did. So she was very versatile, wasn't she? I mean, she really was able to straddle both worlds in a sense. And yeah, it's I've featured a couple of times her recording of the Grieg, which is a really fantastic interpretation of the work.
I know, you played it on the missions.
Yeah, I played it a couple of times, and it's got. Yeah, she knows what she's doing. She's a very dynamic and very lots of personality in her playing.
She ended up living in Australia, I think.
She did. She ended up here, and I can't remember the full story of Winifred Atwell in her later years, but her records sold like hotcakes here.
Oh, yeah.
Every second record on these patches, Winifred Atwell.
You couldn't go to a gathering, with drinks without hearing a Winnie Atwell on the turntable.
Really?
Or the rags,
Yes, she recorded lots of rags, and she had her sort of pop songs, and Let's Have a Gay and Hearty, all those sort of recordings.
She's a South African.
Yeah, I think so.
Got a couple of interviews with her. She sounded a very warm, sort of nice woman.
Yeah, great. Well, it's well, maybe we should do emissions on her one day. We'll have to.
Yeah.
We'll find out some more on any excuse to hear her play that Grieg again.
Why not?
We could do that. So anyhow, look, there's a Les Baxter here, a bit of exotica, and I think this one is called "Please, Mr. Sun," if I recall. It's on a Columbia. No, it's a Capital 78. But yeah, I always like the sounds of the complex jungle sounds, exotic sounds of Les Baxter and his orchestra. Let's have a listen.
To him, please, Mr. Sun. Speak to him, Mr. Rainbow, and take him under your branches, Mr. Tree. Whisper to him, Mr. Wind. Sing to him, Mr. Robin, and Mrs. Moonlight, put in a word for me. Tell him how I feel. It shouldn't end this way. See, they all do. Please, Mr. Sun. For me, Miss Raindrop, and watch to see they all do. Please, Mr. Sun.
Please, Mr. Sun.
That was a big hit in the early 50s.
Was it really?
Remembered now. I
Okay.
think Frankie Lane had the big number on it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it seemed to ring a bell. And, I always like Les Baxter's arrangements. He was the king of exotica. So you have he's the ultimate lounge music.
CLJ listening.
Oh, g'day. Yeah, hi there, Leighton. Yeah. So,
Hey, Leighton.
yeah, good to hear that. Oh, well, where to go next? I'll just grab a pile. I'm just getting a little bit organised here. And we can hold a few records up. Here's one of Hoagie Carmichael.
Oh, lovely.
There's a few here, actually, of his. My Resistance is Low. Stay with the Happy People from Peep's Show. It's Hoagie Carmichael and Cass Staley. And with Matty Matlock and his All-Stars. Matty Matlock was in Paul Wykeman's orchestra in an earlier time. Who else do we have here? Another one, The Old Music Master.
Oh, yeah, I love that.
Okay, it's very, very scratched, but we'll give it a whirl. And don't forget to say no, I think, baby. Right.
It's good advice for some people.
Yes, I think it might be.
Often too late.
Yes, indeed. Well, shall we start with the Music Master?
Yeah.
And we'll just have to do a little bit of hot shoeing over here. I'll have to take this record off the table. And all these capitals don't fit the hole very well. They have to be wrestled off. So here we go. We're going to put the Decca record on, and it's Hoagie Carmichael, and with vocal and rhythm accompaniment. Let's have a listen.
One night long ago, by the light of the moon, an old music master sat composing a tune. His spirit was soaring and his heart full of joy, when right out of nowhere stepped a little colored boy. You gotta jump it, music master, you gotta play that rhythm faster. You're never gonna get it played on the Happy Cat Hit Parade. You better tell your friend Beethoven and Mr. Reginald A. Coben, they gotta do the same as you, or they're gonna be corny too. Along about 1917, jazz will come upon the scene. Then about 1935, you begin to hear swing, boogie, woogie, and jive. You better tell a big broadcaster that you're a solid music master, and you'll achieve posterity. That's a bit of advice from me. The old music master simply sat there amazed, as wide-eyed and open-mouthed he gazed and he gazed. How can you be certain, little boy? Tell me how. Because I was born, he said, 100 years from now. He hit a chord that rocked the spinet and disappeared into the infinite. And up until the present day, you can take it from me, he's as right as can be. Everything is happened that way. Along about 1917, jazz will come upon the scene. And then about 1935, you begin to hear swing, boogie, woogie, and jive. He hit a chord that rocked the spinet and disappeared into the infinite. And up until the present day, you can take it from me, he's as right as can be. Everything has happened that way, yeah.
Sorry, I was over at the other turntable. That's, the music master with Hoagie Carmichael. Now, I think we heard that a few weeks ago.
You heard it recently.
Yes, I think we have played that. We played it off the tube. I didn't realise that was the same one and the same, but I'm happy to hear that again. I always enjoy hearing Hoagie Carmichael.
I didn't want to draw attention to the fact that we'd had it recently because I thought you might say, well, we won't have it again.
I don't mind playing things. I don't mind duplicates and triplicates. We can do that here. There's no rhyme or reason or rules.
No.
We can just go with the flow, I think. And yes, if stuff happens to come out of the bag, I mean, look, to be honest, there's so many duplicates, I forget what I play, and we'll just...
Understandably.
Yeah.
happened to remember that because it's just a track I particularly like.
Yeah, it's a great song. It's really good. Came up okay through the noise reduction.
Yeah, it did.
Yeah.
I picked up the lyrics quite well.
Sure. Now there's another one here. Stay with the Happy People with Cass Daly and Hoagie Carmichael. And I just had a quick sample-o-matic of this, and it sounds like it is reasonably upbeat and suitable for this presentation. So
Sure, it'll be good.
let's have a listen. Another with Hoagie Carmichael and his orchestra. vk3sl testing.
You've got to stay with the happy people. Have your fun, live in the land of joy. Stay with the happy people. Face the sun, life is a Christmas toy. Down through the endless ages, tears have been contagious. And take it from me, that misery is looking around for company. So stay, stay, stay with the happy people. Don't wrinkle your brow, it's strictly out of style. Just stay with the people who love to wear a smile. You've got to stay with the happy people. With the happy, happy people. Have your fun, live in the land of joy. Have your fun and live in the land of joy. Stay, stay with the happy people. With the happy, happy people. Face the sun, life is a Christmas toy. Down through the endless ages, tears have been contagious. And take it from me, that misery is looking around for company. So stay, 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 stay with the happy people. Happy people, just stay, stay, stay. Stay, stay, stay with the people who love, love, love to wear a smile.
There we go. Another from Mr. Carmichael. Oh, that was pretty upbeat.
Another one you mentioned that you had there called My Resistance Is Low. That's a good song.
Oh, okay. That's in the pile. What did I do with it? That's Winifred. Well, that would be good if I can find it. I think I might have put it back into the box.
Oh, don't worry.
I'll discover it. I'll see if I can find it. No, it's gone.
Don't worry about it. It'll come up another time.
It'll pop up again. They pop up like mushrooms, these records. I did cue another one though, and sample. It is Don't Do Something to Somebody Else or something like that. It's called. What's it? Don't Do Something to Someone Else. It's Gordon Jenkins and the orchestra. And it's all from the same era, all late 40s, early 50s sort of jive-o-matic music. And this one's got a bit of a golden message to it, I think, or something like that. That's what they tell me.
Do unto others before they do unto you.
I think so. There's something in that, I'm sure. Yeah, let's have a listen. vk3sl. Wrong turntable. Wait a minute. We'll just do another cue.
'Cause a new kind of preacher is here this week. Brother Charlie LeVere will speak.
Don't do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done to you. Don't start lying or alibiing, fooling me like you do. Now if you play with fire, you're gonna get burned, and someday you'll be sorry when the tables are turned. So don't do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done to you.
Amen.
Time for confessing.
Amen.
You've been a messin'.
Amen.
Here is a lesson.
Yes, yes.
If happy you'd be, listen to me. Don't do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done to you. Don't start cheating or indiscreeting, that's the wrong point of view. Now if you start in flirting and wander away, remember when the cat is gone the mousey will play. So don't do something to someone else you wouldn't want done to you.
Don't break a heart if you don't want your own heart broke. Amen. Don't tell a lie or a lie to you will be spoke. Amen. Don't hurt your neighbor's feelings, you'll be sorry if you do. And don't do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done to you. Amen. Time for confessing. Amen. You've been a messin'. Amen. Here is a lesson. Amen. Now listen to me. Amen. You've been sinning. From the beginning, better start winning friends, better start making amends.
And furthermore, don't do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done to you. Don't start lying or alibiing, fooling me like you do. If you insist on cheating and playing around, I'll leave you like I'd leave a house that's burning down. So don't do something to someone else that you wouldn't want done.
Gordon McRae, and a bit of a happy clappy message there from him and the ensemble. There we go. I think a bit of evangelical flave.
It's a good message.
Yeah, it certainly is. And what else can I tell you about that? It was Gordon Jenkins and chorus by Charles Lavere on that. And the other side is Bewitched, which is slow. And there we go. Well, sampling records, and I've just pulled another one out of the box, the other end of the box, and this is the record that should be the theme song for these missions, or for my part in them anyhow. So I won't give much away. We have played it before actually, but I'm going to play it again. It's a vinyl 78. It's a Mercury disc. I think you can probably date it to about 1958 or thereabouts, right at the end.
Vinyl 78.
It's a vinyl 78. Can you hear it wobbling? No, I won't try and wobble it too much. It is a flexi record, but it's a song
Very common.
It's very, these types of records are not that common. You do see them, and they're certainly common with mood records. A lot of the chapel discs and so on are flexi vinyl discs, and they actually are very, very low noise. This will sound pretty good. I think.
A bit more durable.
Yes, that's right. They only started producing them at the very end. So anyhow, look, I have to say this should be the theme. So we'll have a listen, and I'm sure everybody will know the tune. vk3sl.
Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, pretending that I'm doing well. My need is such, I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no one can tell. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, adrift in a world of my own. I play the game, but to my real shame, you've left me to grieve all alone. Too real is this feeling of make-believe. Too real when I feel what my heart can't conceal. Oh, yes, I'm the great pretender, just laughing and gay like a clown. I seem to be what I'm not, you see. I'm wearing my heart like a crown. Pretender,
I'm the great pretender. Just laughing and gay like the clown. I seem to be what I'm not. You see, I'm wearing my heart like a crown, pretending that you're still
Well, it had to be played. And
So I was going to ask you, would you do it?
yes, well, I have got
Love the piano player in this.
Yes. We have to hear its counterpart. We've got a bit of a system now of hearing the real tune and then the parody. Well, here we go. It's the Stan Freberg version, The Great Pretender, 1958, and lots of cling, cling, cling jazz to set the scene.
Oh yes, I'm the great pretender. Pretending that I'm doing well. But just a moment, please. You on the piano? What are you doing? Well, man, I just play little ooh-baba-doo, like a ooh-ba-ba, ooh-ba-ba. See, I think it's a mistake on my part. I got the same chord over and over, like a clink, 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 clink.
That's
clink.
right. That's right.
You want me to play the same thing all through the song?
You catch on fast.
Wow.
My need is such, I pretend too much. I'm lonely, but no one can tell.
Man, you scared me. Don't do that.
Oh yes, I'm the great pretender. Adrift in a world of my own. Watch it, that's better. I'll play the game, and you'd better play too, or we're getting a new piano man.
That's all right with me.
To real is this feeling of make-believe. To real what I feel, what my heart can't conceal. Oh yes, I'm the great pretender. Just laughing and gay like a clown.
My hand is falling off, man.
I seem to be what I'm not, you see. I'm wearing my heart like a crown.
Wow, what a drag.
Pretending that you're still around. But just a moment, please.
I thought you were through, man.
No.
I don't want to play that lick no more, man. I come from a different school, like Shearing, Errol Garner style. Dig, man.
Hold it. That's not going to sell the records.
Well, man, don't bug me. I don't want to play that cling, cling, cling jazz.
You play that cling, cling, cling jazz, or you won't get paid tonight. Well, all right. To real is this feeling of make-believe. To real when I feel what my heart can't conceal. Oh, yes, I'm great. You see how lovely that turned out now? That's the darling part. Appreciate it. And gay like a clown. I seem, slow down. I seem retard.
Don't stop me now, man. I got to where I like it.
Stop it, I say. I'm getting out of here. He ruined the ending. One of the loveliest parts in the whole piece. The whole piece.
He had it just where he liked it.
He got caught up in it.
Hilarious.
Yes, great. The Shearing Errol Garner School gets a reference.
There's great little licks that he does.
It's brilliant. Yeah, I wonder who it was.
I know.
It's another,
Billy May Band, I think.
it would be someone from Billy May's outfit. Oh, it's classic Freberg, and he does it with such aplomb. Well, should we hear the other side of that Big Platters hit? It's Only You and You Alone is the name of the track. And it's the B-side of The Great Pretender. And we probably should play this because it's here. Why not? vk3sl in the groove.
Only you can do make all this world seem right. Only you can do make the darkness bright. Only you and you alone can thrill me like you do, and to fill my heart with love for only you. Only you can do make all this change in me. For it's true, you are my destiny. When you hold my hand, I understand the magic that you do. You're my dream come true, my one and only you. Only you can make all this change in me. For it's true, you are my destiny. When you hold my hand, I understand the magic that you do. You're my dream come true, my one and only you.
It was a B-side Platters record.
It was a big hit also.
Oh, was it really?
Oh, yeah, it was. I thought you were going to play a Stan Freberg version. That's why I said I hadn't heard it.
Sure.
The interesting thing about the Platters was the lead singer, Tony Williams.
Yeah.
And I think maybe the whole group got done for drugs, which in itself is no novelty. But they had the distinction of being done for a very rare drug, which was opium.
Oh, okay. Really?
Obviously, the other the drugs are derivatives of opium, but
Yes.
their charge mentioned the word opium.
How interesting. Okay. Did they have to do time, or was it how did it play
I'm
out
not
for them?
sure how it worked out. It just provided them with a bit of good publicity. I think they got off with pretty light because they were still recording.
Yeah,
there was no
those
noticeable
celebrities.
break
Sure.
in their recording appearances.
Okay, interesting. Gosh, there's a few Platters 45s here, which I'll see if I can dig up because
It'd be good value, the Platters.
Yeah, did have a bit of clink 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 accompaniment there. I noticed.
Well, they were probably arguably one of the biggest, vocal groups hit-wise in the 50s, weren't they, through that early period of rock?
Sure were, and consistently kind of reasonably good quality material. The guy that organised a fellow called Buck Ram, he was a very good organiser of the band. He kept them together for a long time. I think there's still a group called the Platters, but obviously they're new Platters.
I expect there would be.
Still viral version.
Yes, exactly. I think they're a generation or two sort of moved forward since then.
Very much so.
I did look up Hermit and what's his name, Peter Noon, and from
Herman.
Yes, and he's still going strong.
Yeah, that's terrific.
Yeah, he's there's some hilarious stuff from that band, and it's all very sort of clean, innocent 60s British rock, really. But I quite enjoyed reading about him, doing my bit of post-missions research.
Very good. Yes, I like that, Mrs. Brown. You've got a lovely daughter. It's got a nice little message.
Yeah, it does. And there's the other one, the King Henry VIII song, which
I'm Henry VIII. I am.
yes, it's so sort of, I don't know, quaint.
I remember it all well.
Yeah.
They're also a bit unique in that, as an artist too, they kind of weren't singing, they were singing in accent a bit, weren't they? Whereas, many artists, when they sing, you can't really pick accent at all, it's very neutral, but they sort of tried to retain it.
It's interesting.
Well, Peter Noon did a North Country in Henry VIII and Mrs. Brown. Maybe that was natural to him, I don't know.
Interesting, isn't it? Yeah, he sort of maintained a clean sort of positive take on things right up until I was listening to an interview with him in recent times, and he's got a pretty good attitude, really. He seems to relish in sort of, I don't know, something that's not too subversive. He's had a very different image to the Rolling Stones, for instance.
Well, that's right.
But yeah, good on him, still going strong.
Good on him.
Yeah. Now there's I just reached into the box, and there happens to be a few rock and roll records in this lot, and there's one of Bill Haley. One side is rock, which we've probably heard a few times. The other one's the Saints rock and roll, which I think is a take on When the Saints Come Marching In or something. I'm not sure, but we'll hear what they do with this. So I presume it's the B-side to rock, but we'll give it a sample, shall we? The Saints rock and roll, it's called. Bill Haley and his comments of Festival 78. And I'm vk3sl, testing.
Rock and rollin' all the day, rock and rollin' all the way, rock and rollin' to the end till the Saints go marching in. Oh, when the Saints go marching in, when the Saints go marching in, Lord, I want to be in that number when the Saints go marching in. Now when old Frank comes swinging in, when old Franny's swinging in, well, I want to be in that number when old Franny's swinging in. Go! Now when the sax begins to wail, when old Rudy starts to wail, well, I want to be in that number when old Rudy starts to wail. Oh, when the rhythm starts to go, when that rhythm starts to go, well, I want to be in that number when that rhythm starts to go. Oh,
Well, there we go. Bill Haley in full force on a very scratched up old festival record. A well-loved disc. And early days of rock and roll. You really hear the crossover, of course, with trad jazz in that instance.
That's right.
Yeah, so Bill Haley with his driving rhythm.
Local Rudy on sax.
Yeah. So they all got a Guernsey there. But, yeah, that one wasn't really on my radar. I didn't know about that one.
Same.
Yeah. So now there was a rock and roll historian on Richard Fidler's program this afternoon. I was doing some ferrying kids around. I had to do some taxi work today.
Oh, I wish I'd heard that.
Yeah, it's worth look it up. It was really interesting. Can't remember the guy's name, but he was quite a outstanding commentary on the early days of rock and roll, and he was talking about he's interviewed many of the people, and he sort of gave a lot of industry stories and the social movements behind. It was a really comprehensive thing, and going right up to David Bowie and what are they called, the Rolling Stones, Beatles, and
Wasn't Glenn A. Baker, was it?
Oh, I'm not sure. I can't remember his name. English dude.
Big name, wasn't he, Glenn A?
Yeah. Anyhow, this fellow seemed to be a very natural, easy communicator. He just told the story so well. And in fact, it would be good to feature at some stage. I'll see if I can dial it up maybe. Or it's an hour-long program, so we have to find a different slot for it maybe. But or maybe just refer it to people. It's that Conversations program on the Radio Nat on 3AR.
You can do a course at one of the well-known halls of learning, tertiary, on rock and roll.
Okay. Yeah.
Monash, or I'm not sure.
Sure. It'd be a very versatile, it'd be a very deep subject, because you're looking at the whole, the trends of mobilising youth for the first time in mass media. There are so many tangents, and this chap sort of addressed a lot of that. But he said one of the most important early rock and roll songs of all time was Little Richard's Tutti Frutti.
Totally.
And he thought this really set the scene more than just about anything. And he said that Little Richard was sort of struggling to find a pathway, and the original words of Tutti Frutti were apparently really just completely below the belt. And this
is a cleaned up version.
Yes, that's right. And he spoke about how they sort of sanitised the piece, and then it became, I think it was sort of known as a dirty song, and which no one recorded, but they sort of people just sung around like a pub song or something.
You had a version at school that was closer to the original.
Right. Okay. Well, it sounds like a schoolboy song. Yeah. So anyhow, that's the background to it. But he was talking about how every cell in Little Richard's body was mobilised in just a most passionate outcry, and he sort of saw this as being such a seminal piece that everyone tried to build on, including the Beatles in a very big way, and they all sort of, it was like their call was when the Beatles were forming, as that if they could play or at least reference Little Richard in their sort of style and in their outlook, then they sort of that was the thing, a common point with the early Beatles and lots of other musicians too. It was a really incredible portrayal. So I'll play it. Why not have a listen? It's a well-known one, but 1956, Tutti Frutti, Little Richard, vk3sl.
Womp bom balloon bom 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 to the boot, oh rude, 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 to the boot, oh rude. Oh womp bom balloon bom 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 bom. I got a girl named Sue. She knows just what to do. I got a girl named Sue. She knows just what to do. She rock to the east, she rock to the west, but she's the gal that I love best. To the boot, oh rude, to the boot, oh rude, ooh, to the boot, oh rude, to the boot, oh rude, to the boot, oh rude. Oh wop bop balloon bop bum bum bum. I got a gal named Daisy. She almost drives me crazy. Got a gal named Daisy. She almost drives me crazy. She knows how to love me, yeah. indeed. Boy, you don't know what you do to me, to the booty, oh Rudy, 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 to the booty, oh Rudy. Bop, bop, bop. What you do to me, to the booty, oh Rudy, 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 oh wop bop loo ma blah bam boom.
We go Little Richard and Tutti Frutti. vk3sl test missions on 160 and on UHF and streaming online.
VK3JR.
Yeah, so there we go. There's our little rock and roll segment. And
after the Beatles broke up, John Lennon did an album of all old rock songs.
Oh, really? Oh, gosh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, fairly late in his career, actually.
Sure. Did he sort of play them the same way with that raw energy and sort of...
Yep.
Wow.
Did his best to sound like the others.
Oh, my goodness. I wasn't aware of that at all. So later times in the... was Yoko involved?
I hope not.
Yes.
Paul, throughout the Beatles, from time to time, did tracks where he would sound rather like Little Richard.
Okay. Yeah. Well, this fellow today was saying that really that was one of the things that brought them together, was that complete, reverence.
Love of rock.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah, so it's great to sort of hear that described, and it's a pity I can't play. It's not easy to play Beatles here because it does put me in the strike territory.
I fully understand.
Yeah, unfortunately, but we all know the Beatles. Actually, to be honest, there's a lot of Beatles I haven't heard. So what we'll do is we'll do a special missions where we can't use the log, and we can't without the stream, and we'll make that a specialty feature perhaps. Can do that. Yeah. All right. Well, I haven't sort of got reorganised the next one. I've got a record in my hand though, out of the bag. Phil Harris and his orchestra. And this is one called "If You're Ever Down in Texas, Look Me Up." And the other side is "That's What I Like About the South."
That's what I like about the South. I would suggest.
Okay, sounds
That's
good.
That's a good song.
Is it? Right. Excellent. That's great. Because I haven't sampled this one at all. So we'll put this on. Phil Harris and his orchestra. We played the Phil Harris track a few weeks ago, didn't we? A little while back. I can't remember which one it was. Was it The Thing or something? What was that called? Or he had a number of hits, didn't he, Mr.
He had a
Harris?
hit in the 50s, the big hit for 1950 called The Thing.
Yeah, that's right. I think that's the one we played. But anyhow, I'll just do the cue. And
he had another one called Smoke, Smoke, Smoke That Cigarette.
That's the one we played.
Yeah,
Smoke, Smoke, Smoke. Yes. And Never Trust a Woman was another one of his songs, wasn't it?
Yes.
I've got that here somewhere. And I used to play it to my mother and she got very cross with me.
Your game.
Yeah, well, yeah. I come home with my latest batch of 78s from the op shop and I say, "Mum, have a listen to this." And she said, "I don't like that song." Anyhow, let's have a listen to Mr. Harris.
Won't you come with me to Alabama? Let's go see my dear old mammy. She's frying eggs and broiling hammy. That's what I like about the South. Now there you can make no mistakey. Where those nerves are never shaky. Ought to taste her leg cakey. That's what I like about the South. She's got baked ribs and candied yams. Those sugar-cured Virginia hams. Basement's full of those berry jams. And that's what I like about the South. Hot corn bread and black-eyed peas. You can eat as much as you please. Cause it's never out of season. That's what I like about the South. Don't take one. Have two. They're dark brown and chocolate too. Suits me, they must suit you, cause that's what I like about the South. So way down where the cane grows tall, down where they say you all walk on in with that southern drawl, 'cause that's what I like about the South. It's down where they have those pretty queens keep a dreamin', those dreamy dreams. Let's sip that absinthe in New Orleans. That's what I like about the South. Come old Bob with all the news, got the box back coat and the button shoes, but he's all caught up with his union dues, and that's what I like about the South. Here come old Roy down the street, oh, can't you hear those scuffling feet? He would rather sleep than eat, and that's what I like about the South. Now every time I pass your door, you act like you don't want me no more. Why don't you shake your head and sigh, and I'll go walking right on by. Gone on and on and on. Honey, when you tell me that you love me, then how come you close your eyes? Did I tell you about the place called Do-I-Diddy? It ain't no town and it ain't no city. It's just awful small, but awful pretty will do-I-Diddy. I didn't come here to criticize. I'm not here to sympathize. But don't call me those no good lies, 'cause a lying gal I do despise. You love me like I love you, send me 50. PDQ, rose are red and violets are pink. I'm gonna get old 50, I don't think. She's got backbones and butter beans, ham, hocks, and turnip greens. You and me in New Orleans, and that's what I like about the South.
Phil Harris, and a recording from, when would that be, Frank? Early 1950s?
Oh, yeah, very early 50s. It's one of those semi-novelty sort of
that's
songs
right.
that were very, very prevalent.
He had a real machine gun delivery, didn't he, Mr. Harris?
There's a very similar song in similar vein written by Tom Lehrer, which I'm not recommending that you play.
Okay. All right, fair enough. We'll suspend that one. What's
a bit controversial.
Oh, okay, fair enough. No, we don't want controversy here. It did remind me of another song from a completely different ilk, and that happens to be Captain Matchbox Whoopee Band with Mick Conway. Now they did a great version of Nagasaki, which originally, in fact, yeah, that's right. The original recording of Nagasaki, or one of them, was with Billy Costello, the Popeye guy we featured at the very beginning of the program. Well, Captain Matchbox, I think they're all collectors of 78s. They did a fab version of Nagasaki, and it's here. It's off a TV special, and they look like they're stoned off their faces on this recording.
Probably are.
They look really out of it, and it's fantastic stuff. I used to go and see them. They used to perform in the city, and it was sort of a later era, really. They'd sort of reformed, but I love their raw energy, and Mick Conway brothers, their enthusiasm was just utterly contagious. Here they are in 1970 Mumble.
Where the fellas chew tobacco and the women wakey wacky.
Gingerbread and dynamite, there ain't nothing supposed to be detonate. Back in that sack where I felt you the bag and the moon with your wacky woo. Can't wait to entertain the gun, hurry, a hurricane. Back in that sack where I felt you the bag and the moon with your wacky woo. With your mama, then troubles increase. Supper gunner, she ought to soda, the 6 book, 6 10 cents piece. The hook and kiss each night, my chicken boy, it's worth the price. Back in that sack where I felt you the bag and the moon with your wacky woo. on the parlor floor. No wonder your pants get sore. Back, back, sack, well, first you back and we'll make you whack. Swing him on up, pull him on up, pick it up high speed. Got Remax and then sciatic, some halitosis, that's guaranteed. You must have to act your age or wind the boys inside a cage. Back, back, sack, well, first you back and we'll make you whack.
Captain Matchbox Whoopee Band and their rendition of Nagasaki off ABC TV, I think, that recording. They're pretty loose, but they're having a good go.
That's great.
It's fab music. It's great sort of... they had great rapport with their audiences, that group. They drew you into the experience. In fact, there's one other track that they recorded. In fact, it's from the same program, that I really like. This is another song from the 20s, which they made their own, and I think people will recognise the tune. vk3sl.
Mr. Pressman, here's some news. You can print it if you choose, just to show that times have changed a lot. Though it may sound strange to you, it is absolutely true. You can believe it or not. Since making whoopee became all the rage, as even got into the open cage, my canary has circles under his eyes. Under his eyes, he used to whistle a brisker song. Now he just snake hips the whole day long. My canary has circles under his eyes. His only pals are the meadowlark, just a tiny sparrow. But I'm afraid when he's in the park, he leaves the straight and narrow. I raised this bird in a manner so strict, now I feel certain I'm being tricked. My canary has circles under his eyes. Tiny sparrow, but I'm afraid when he's in the park, he leaves the straight and narrow. I raised this bird in a manner so strict, now I feel certain I'm being tricked. My canary has circles under his eyes. Whoopee became all the rage, that's even got into the old bird cage. My canary has circles under his eyes. My canary has circles under his eyes.
A classic there from Captain Matchbox Whoopee Band in the 1970s, and they're all bearded and they all look very Jesus-y. I'll swag them. They all got long hair and long beards and caftans. They're of the times.
Of the time, very much.
Yeah. So hats off to Mick Conway and company.
Yeah.
And he's still doing good things with, I think he does a lot of kids shows and things these days. But
that's good.
still out there. Yay. And Mr. OP, are you still with us there?
I am.
Oh, great.
Over the other side, soldering and listening. But
that's fine.
I remember many of my work colleagues who are that slightly older generation used to talk about them and going and seeing them, and even at places, I think, like locally, like the Powerhouse and stuff like that.
Yeah, great. Oh, that's good. I was thinking tomorrow, if you've got a few lineups, we can sort of run with a slightly different theme tomorrow, perhaps.
Yeah, sure. I'll have a bit of a think.
Have a ponder, and if you've got a few...
That'd be great.
Yeah, that'd be really good. So it'd be nice to have a change of pace. We've got to have a few gear changes here and have some variety. Well, I mean, we can continue here with these 50s hits almost indefinitely.
Well, there's no shortage of them.
Well, it's right. It's like painting the Sydney Harbour Bridge, and they just sort of keep siphoning them through as well. But there's certainly room for a few other things as well. Absolutely. So we'll go with that. And which reminds me, I've got to go inside. I'm on dinner tonight, and what I will play is I'll play the Lalo Cello Concerto. I'll play the first movement anyhow of this work that I used to know very well.
I'll record it. I've got to go myself.
Oh, that's fine. No,
I'll record it.
It's just an offline recording.
Have a pleasant evening all, vk3sl.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks, Frank.
Indeed, Frank.
And
all the best.
And thanks, Leighton, for listening in as well. And also...
Yes.
Yeah.
Indeed, Leighton.
And I appreciate all of your words of wisdom and deep knowledge and, companionship there, Frank, as well. It's been great. So
Likewise.
All right.
I'll drop off.
Okay.
So VK3JR is now closing down.
Okay, no worries at all. Thank you, Franks. And thank you, Mr. W. And shall we... Anyone on the screen?
Good night.
Yep, cheers. Oh, we've got quite a bit
wonderful
of discussion here. Okay. There's people on the stream wanting to find out more. I'll have to write to them. Okay, right. Well, what we'll do is we'll have a listen to the Lalo Cello Concerto and a recording made in the 1950s with Paul Tortelier. This is VK3SL saying, oh, wait a minute. Are we there yet? Not yet. We've got to do our... Here we go. Our cue up, and we'll listen to the first movement of this work. VK3SL. Cheers for now. first movement of Lalo's Cello Concerto, recording with Paul Titelia. This is vk3sl, test missions on 160 and also on UHF, streaming online as we do. And we'll say cheerio for now and look forward to your company tomorrow. And good night to you too.